be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day.
Welcome back to another episode of Lone Star College Football. Today, we're going to be talking about the college football playoff rankings. They just released the top four that we're going to have in the playoffs this year. Number one, Georgia, and number two, Michigan. Those were, without a doubt, we knew where they'd stand. And then number three, TCU, and number four, Ohio State. Now, I've been talking with a bunch of my friends, and for some reason, I'm on a much different stance than most people on this. In my brain, it doesn't make sense. So if y'all agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you don't, try to explain to me because I can't get it. TCU was number 3 last week. They lost, but yet they remain number 3. In my mind, you should be penalized for losing. TCU should be number 4. Ohio State should be number 3. Now, I understand the wins and losses or the wins of these two teams. All right. TCU has won 5 games against teams that were ranked in the top 25. Ohio State has only won 2. But those 5 that TCU won, 3 of them are no longer in the top 25. They were when they played, but they're not currently in the top 25. And so I don't understand why we take that as a value of what they were when after the rest of the season played out, those teams ended up not being very good, right? TCU beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma was number 18. Oklahoma finished 6-6. They're not ranked. They beat Oklahoma State. Kansas. Kansas was 19. Kansas finished 6-6. They're no longer ranked. They beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State was 8th. They finished 7-5. They're no longer ranked. We're giving TCU these wins as if at the time, yes, they were quality good wins. Looking back, not so much. On the other hand, Ohio State has 2 wins against Penn State, who is currently number 11, right? And they just dropped. They dropped 3 spots, I think, from last week, or maybe from the AP poll. The AP poll has them at 9. So they're number 11th, and Notre Dame is number 21, who really was higher until they ended up losing to who they lose to late in the season. They lost to USC. They were number 15. They lost to USC, and that bumped them down. And so the quality wins, in my mind, you've got 2 and 2. You've got 2 ranked wins for each team. TCU's 2 ranked wins, one of them being Kansas State, who is currently number 9. That is a quality win. And then they also lost to Kansas State, though. We have to give them credit for that loss. And then they also beat Texas, who is 8-4, sitting at number 20. My mind always reverts to the losses. And, whether or not that's how the committee does it, I guess not. But in my mind, I look at the losses and say, okay, Ohio State has 1 loss. Who did they lose to? They lost to Michigan. At home, they got beat bad. Don't get me wrong. They got beat pretty bad at home to Michigan. TCU has 1 loss. Who did they lose to? They lost to Kansas State, a team that they had already beaten, but they had to come back from 18 behind. Doesn't matter. They won. I'm just saying, Kansas State, you could give Kansas State credit for losing that game just as easily as you can TCU for winning that game. But they did lose to them the next time around. And so you've got 2 teams with 1 loss each. Ohio State lost to the number 2 team in the country. TCU lost to the number 9 team in the country. In my mind, if you only have 1 loss and your loss is a better quality than the other one, and you both have 2 current games that you won against 2 currently ranked opponents, I think Ohio State should be ahead of TCU. I think the only reason they're not ahead is because the committee did not want a Michigan-Ohio State rematch, which as a fan, I don't understand. And I've talked to some of my friends. If y'all have watched any of our Michigan videos with Daniel, he didn't want the rematch. Well, that's his big rivalry game. Of course, they don't want the rematch. I've talked to Logan about it. We've talked with Jason over at Hall of Fame College Football. I think most fans would probably want this rematch. A Michigan-Ohio State, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take a game like that every week. Georgia Ohio State could be a good game. I would expect we could just go ahead and scrap this up to a BCS bowl or BCS national championship where I think number 1 will beat number 4. Georgia will beat Ohio State. I think Michigan will beat TCU, and then we will probably end up with a Georgia Michigan national championship. Just way too early prediction. I would probably think Georgia would win that, but I'll be rooting for Michigan for sure throughout this playoff. So, with that being said, if y'all made us this far, we do appreciate y'all. Please make sure to check us out on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at LoneStar_CFB. We did reach our goal of 100 subs, and we are going to be announcing the giveaway soon. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel and leave comments in the comment section so we know that you're watching the videos. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Hook 'em.